The other day I kind of went over like my thoughts on it and kind of gave y'all the, my perspective and kind of heard from chat to give me your feedback and kind of probe chat's ideas. While we had some people who were like kind of more, taking the hard line position of like, no, don't do that, don't play it, don't engage with it, don't promo it. And I have been seeing a lot of people on Twitter doing that, where if like, if you play Palworld, you are a traitor to the working class. So last night, to kind of understand more of like what the artist perspective on it is, I reached out to a couple artists in the community and asked them like, give me your thoughts. Don't spare my feelings. I don't know if you saw like, what I was saying about it, but what are your thoughts? And the general consensus I got from the artists that I spoke to was that AI is a threat to all artists. Policing people's consumption never works. It's a disorganized, decentralized boycott. There's nothing that's going to actually, affect that change. Lots of like really good takes from the artists I reached out to. I appreciate them giving me their perspective. The reason I asked, I saw this. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Asmongold, those of you who kind of like stay on this corner of Twitch, political Twitch, on this platform for a long time, Asmongold has been the guy that when there has been discourse, whatever it is, hot tub streamers, suggestive nudity, after it reaches its pinnacle of that discourse, Asmongold will come in and have a very centrist position that is kind of like the normie take, and then everyone goes, yeah, that's a good point, and then it dissipates. That's what Asmongold has been for a long time. Over the last like 2-3 years, he's kind of been a little bit more of a shit, especially when it comes to like the treatment of workers. In my head, Asmon and Moist Critical have the same normie take thought leader vibes. That's actually a pretty accurate assessment, I'd say. Let's listen to what he had to say in regards to Palworld.
Ready to expect me to draw a moral line, I have to perceive a difference that I consider substantial. And I do not consider the difference substantial. Do you guys?
No. I think what he was talking about in this moment was the difference between like Pokemon and the pals that are very similar. I think that's what he was referring to.
Right. No. And that's really what matters. If it was made with AI, I'm completely okay with that because it was fun.
The evidence
it
is
doesn't
that
matter. Nobody really cares
the lead
about this.
developer has been very positive about AI in the past.
Okay, let's just break that down. I don't care because it was fun. And ultimately, nobody cares about this. I would say, ultimately, the majority of people don't care about this or even know about it. That's true. But within the conversation about the game, it's very clear that there is a sizable portion of people who do care about it. With all discourse online, yes, there are going to be a smaller amount of people who are very vocal about it, no matter what their takes are. Not caring, caring deeply, cynically caring, right? But to say, like, I don't care because it was fun, I think Palworld's fun. I'll come out and say it. I think it's very entertaining. I think it's fun. I think it's like everything I've wanted a Pokemon game to be. My stance, and based on the artist that I talked to last night, is that the main developer is a shithead. It is unclear at this very moment whether or not AI was used in the creation of this particular game, because the creator has used AI in the past, right? Until that is made clear, as Ludwig said in his video, we're kind of jumping the gun. Yeah, I'm loving Palworld, but yeah, if concrete evidence comes out they used AI without a shadow of a doubt, I'd drop it. Right. And I made this promise to chat the other day, if that comes out to be true.
I played
called
this, by the way.
AI Art Imposter. That lets an AI artist draw a picture. And so that was like one of the games.
We're going to be playing this week.
Yes, just generally has been much more positive about some of the benefits of AI rather than what is the normal sentiment amongst artists and I guess general Twitter population, which is that AI is bad and it takes jobs from people.
Well, AI and the sentiment from artists opinions don't matter.
Okay, that's the take that everybody is frustrated with, and it's a brain dead take. Asmongold utilizes artists for the merch, for OTK graphics, the company that he's a part of, for Starforge systems. Artists, graphic designers, are all up in this. So I'm wondering, as he's saying this, what the artists that have worked for Asmongold think about that kind of a statement, and whether or not they would ever work for him again. Maybe I misunderstood, but I thought he was saying more along the lines of good in taste or quality and not in ethics. I mean, if we're talking about, like, the consequence of AI and, like, you know, what this game and the consequence of, like, AI being utilized in video games represents, if that's the conversation, this would be a dog shit take. If it's just about, like, in taste, like, I don't think the art is good, doesn't matter is not how I would describe it. I would say, like, you know, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, like, position. Like, okay, you're an artist, but you don't think the art is good. Okay, well, like, other people do. He's reacting or playing games. He is nothing without the creators that produce those things. Also, you're a gaming streamer. I have artists that I work with for my merch, for my assets, for my emotes, you know? There are artists in this community that make, like, fan art and stuff. I would never shit on them and say that their opinion doesn't matter. You're a gamer. I react to news, and I talk shit for a living. You play video games, which have thousands of artists working on them. So the opinions of those artists that are working on those games don't matter? Like, what are we talking about? Also, you're playing WoW. We're gonna talk about, like, ethics in gaming. Holy shit, dude. Activision Blizzard? I'm not even a React hater. I just can't stand streamers who are only making money off of other creations being assholes to those creators. Yeah, that's the main thing, right? It's like, this is an asshole take.
Because what matters is the opinion of the people that are buying the product. Like, it doesn't, like, your opinion on it, like, just because you do it doesn't, like, nobody cares.
Right. This is the, no one cares about the treatment of Arabica coffee bean farmers and growers. No one cares about their complaints because people like Starbucks. Ethical treatment in labor is relevant to the product of that labor. That's kind of like the whole thing with, like, alienation. That this is a product that was made by exploiting people. Now, this is not a, you have to consume only products that are ethically sourced. You would have a hard time doing that. Every aspect, like, you're using all products. Your, you know, shirt with, like, ramen broth stains on it and, like, little rat holes that have been chewed through it. Made by somebody. No need to worry about people, justice, morals, etc. The market decides. Yeah, well, this is, like, free market worship, right?
Like, it's not relevant. It's like whenever one of these, like, you know, really well-respected and really respectable directors talks about how bad Marvel is. Shut up, old man. Shut up. I like watching the Thor movie. It was cool.
I mean, that negates any take you have about literally anything. I said, if you remove Palworld and artists from this statement and replace it with any other form of consumption/labor, you immediately understand that this is a callous take that only corpos and shut-ins would have. What is Carter's response? This is so funny. Dude is realizing guys such as myself, progressives. See, the real issue is capitalism puts profits over people, and that is inherently evil. You cannot be moral and care more about money. Capitalism forces you to. It alienates you from labor. Also, I'm gonna do a yes and. It alienates you from your humanity. Greed is in human nature no matter what system is being used. If AI, games, movies, art isn't what people want, then the market will decide. First of all, no, it won't. Markets don't decide anything. The market is not just an entity that's an organism that, you know, moves freely based on, like, pressures. That's not what it is. Okay, let me address two of these things, okay? Greed is in human nature no matter what system. No. If greed was an inherent aspect of human nature, there would not be society. There would not be cities. There would not be villages. There would not be towns. There would be no collaborative efforts. The thing about humans is that greed has to be incentivized. You have to have pressures outside of that person that incentivizes them to pursue greedy endeavors. Think of it this way. Crime, violent crime, or like property theft, is a product of people's conditions. A man does not steal bread when he has a full stomach. America has this narrative going on that crime is rampant. It's not, but there is crime. There are lower crime rates in countries like China, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Norway, Denmark. Take your pick of these social democracies. Why is crime in those countries lower than in America? Is it because those countries are just built different? Is it because of a racist notion of, oh, well, these are homogenous societies? You know, there's less racial diversity. There's less like religious and ethnic diversity in these countries. No, despite those countries having a high rate of diversity. Social coherence? No, it's because those countries have a base level of conditions where you don't have to steal. Being poor won't cause you to be a criminal, though. Lots of poor people don't steal things. First and foremost, you are right. Lots of poor people don't steal things. It is those within the margins that we have completely abandoned. Because again, it's about their conditions. Being poor doesn't make you a criminal. You are right. It makes you desperate. Chatter. I want you to look at this. On the right here, chatter, is larceny, burglary, auto theft, robbery. On the left is wage theft. You're worried about robbery, auto theft. That's, 0.34 billion for robbery, 3.8 billion for auto theft, 4.1 for burglary, 5.3 for larceny, right? 23.2 billion in minimum wage violations. 8.8 billion in overtime violations. I care about both. Here's the thing though. If this is addressed, this goes away. I get what most of you guys have good intentions at heart, but you have to always remember just because you think a way doesn't mean everyone else does, and you can't change that. That's a constant challenge to balance and get as close as possible to where everyone feels good. Here's the thing, chatter. Every single person in this chat right now, and myself included, used to think the exact same way you used to. We all thought the exact same way, some of them even worse, myself included. I have family that are literally in the Klan, my guy. I grew up around that. And it is always, whether it's racism, classism, contempt for the poor, you will always be struggling with that in your mind because it's how you were brought up. It's how you were raised. You grew up around that sentiment. It was reinforced. And you repeating these things, you believing in these things were positively incentivized. Like I talked about earlier, incentivization. Saying that everyone will always think this way and you can't change that is wrong. Some people still believe that kings have a divine right. Some people still think that the Nazis were correct. Some people still believe in eugenics. Some people still believe in, angels. And some people still believe that capitalism is a just system and it's not going anywhere. These perspectives are addictive because they're simple and they're soothing. They soothe you to think that the world is that simple, that just, nope, capitalism is forever, free market's going to decide, there's always going to be crime, you're never going to be able to fix it, we can try and address both, but ultimately, I prefer addressing one over the other. You can change your perspective, right? Everyone in this community at some point believed what you do. And my hope is that you can grow out of that.